Hello everyone and welcome to Decorating with Barbara. In today's video, I am going to share the reveal of the dining room. But first, I want to thank everyone who left a comment or an idea in helping me put the room back together. So I took everything into consideration and I think I came up with a plan that most of you will like. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the process and then I will share the reveal. Okay, so do you guys remember these lamps? Now this is what started the whole refresh idea. I wanted to get new lamps for the dining room, and so I picked these up from Home Goods. Now once I started to put the room together, it just became real obvious to me that something just wasn't working for me with these lamps. Okay, so I didn't want to bring the silver mercury glass lamps back, so I went around the house and I found another pair. And then I found these in my bedroom and it seemed like everything started to come to life. And so what I think was happening is that there was too much metal. Now these are pretty much the same brass tone, but with the crystal on the stem of the lamp, I think that just helped to break up some of the metal and it just looks a little better to me. So I like the way they looked, but I thought they were a little short. So I'm going to show you how I remedy the height by changing the harp. Now if you're not familiar with what a harp is, this is the harp here, and this is what holds the shade onto the lamp. Okay, so this one measures about 9.5 inches, and then the one that's on the lamp now measures about 7.5. And so it's going to give me 2 more inches of height, and that will be enough to just give the lamps a little bit more presence. Not only did I use the taller harps, but I went ahead and used the taller lampshades. And I think this just looks so much better. So if you guys are looking for harps, you can get them from any hardware store, or if you have other lamps around your home, you can try switching them out. Now, I don't know if you guys remember these lamps, but I picked these up last year from the Goodwill. I had a hard time getting them clean, but once I got them cleaned up, they were good as new. So these are the lamps that I will be using in the dining room for right now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and decorate the buffet. Okay, so before I decided to switch the lamps out, I went into Home Goods to see if I could find more lamps. And when I was in there, I found this piece. Now it may not look like much here on the camera, but in person it is beautiful, and I thought it had all of the metals that I'm using in the room. It even has a little bit of a green, but you have to look very closely to see it. Let me see, I think it's over here. There it is. See right there? And it has that bronze color. There we go. And the silver mercury glass or gold mercury glass, and it has a little bit of charcoal. It's just beautiful. And so this was a piece that I thought would really tie everything together, and so I went ahead and picked it up. Now I know some of you thought that I shouldn't put anything tall in the center of the buffet, and I definitely agree. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception, but I will keep it simple. Okay, so next I added the metal vase in a bronze color, and I got this vase from Target. Okay, so now I just added the simple blue votive cup. And like I said, I'm not sure how it looks on camera, but in person, it looks really pretty. Okay, so now that you know that I didn't put the large planter on the buffet, you know that it probably went on the table. So now let me share what I'm going to use for the table. Okay, so before we get into the centerpiece, let me just share a few of the items that will be going on the tabletop. Okay, so these napkins, you might recognize them. These came from Pier 1. The gold is very soft and it goes with a lot. And so I have some napkin rings that I got from Goodwill several years ago, many years ago actually. And I actually was going to put them in a garage sale. I had them set up for my garage sale last year, but they didn't sell. I do have a set of 6, and they were kind of like in a gold color, but they didn't sell. I was trying to sell 6 of them for $1. I decided to spray paint them. Okay, so these glasses also came from Goodwill. And these glasses I tend to use in the fall, and I just love the, I'm not sure what you call that pattern on the glass, but I just love that look of them, and they are very substantial in size, and they look really nice on the tablescape. So the flatware is just something inexpensive that I got from Walmart. But then I got these beautiful plates, and these came from Home Goods. I got 4 of them, and they were $7.99. And these are also in a beautiful glass. It's tinted in a kind of an amber color, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but they have like a green tint to them. And so when I was in Home Goods the other day and I knew that I would be using my green plates, I just thought these were perfect. And so yeah, very pretty. And I just love colored glass. I think I mentioned that to you guys before, so you will see colored glass in my house quite a bit. Okay, so I will be using these beautiful green plates, and they have this beautiful kind of a brassy edge to them. Now these were gifted to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I did use them in my Christmas tablescape, and yeah, they're just perfect for the fall, and they match perfectly with the beads that kind of started the turquoise color scheme. And then I picked up these coasters I shared in the previous haul, and those came from Ross. So I think that's everything that's going to go on the tablescape. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so now for the centerpiece. Now, many of you guys like the pot on the buffet in between the 2 lamps. And I liked it that way as well. But then that made the buffet the focal point, and I always like to make my dining room table the focal point. So I wanted to go ahead and place it on the table, and then I wanted to place it on a tray because I didn't want to use a runner this time. And so I didn't want to put it directly on the table, so I placed it on this glass tray, and I've had this for a while. Now, I like the beads hanging out of the vase, and I think most of you did as well. Okay, so I picked up this scented sachet from Kirkland's, and to keep the dining room smelling good, I'm going to place it inside of the pot, and then the dining room will always be smelling fresh. Okay, so for me, I always like to soften my containers with a little bit of greenery. Okay, so you guys seem to have liked the olive branches. Now this olive branch came from a local store here called Nebraska Furniture Mart, but they do have nice ones at Walmart. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and place my coasters up here because I really like the way that color really picks up the beads. It's really pretty together, and they also have that little copper color as well as gold, so I think they're perfect. And since I am using gold and brass in the room, and so I'm adding this orb to the tray. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the table. Okay guys, so I love it, and I hope you do as well. As you can see, I wanted to keep my neutral color palette. I added some different tones of metallic and the pop of blue. And I think it turned out great. So I normally don't set a formal table, but someone had mentioned that I never set the silverware out, so I thought I would do it today. And so that's why I wanted to use the placemat instead of the runner, so that I had room to place the silverware. Normally I like a more simple table, and so I generally pass on the silverware. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys noticed that I switched out my candle sconces. I had mentioned a while ago that I wanted new candle sconces, but I have not been able to find anything that I really like. And so until I find something, I just brought up a pair that I had in the basement. Now some of you may think that they are a little small for the wall, but I am going for a simple and understated look. So I'm not going to look for something much larger than what's up there now. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I do have a desk here in the corner for those of you who are new. And so I just placed that glass vase that I shared in my recent haul. I just placed it here on the desk with some flowers, just keeping it very simple. And for those of you who don't like the tall vase on the buffet, I think this is a pretty look as well. Or you can do something like this. Okay guys, so that's about it. Now I don't want to bore anyone about the details of the dining room for those of you who have seen this room a million times. So if you have questions about the dining room, or if you want to see the dining room before this little refresh, I would refer to my thrifted dining room tour. There's lots of fun details about this room with all the pieces that I thrifted and ways that I saved money decorating the dining room. So I still have a few more updates that I want to do to the dining room. I think I'm going to paint the wainscoting, and then I want to replace the mirror. So there's always something happening here in the dining room. If I have never told you guys before, the dining room is my favorite room to decorate. And so this is the dining room on an everyday basis. I hope you guys are looking forward to the fall season.